I'm just so thrilled that this week YouTube and my software are communicating. So I am, thanks, Melissa. I'm so excited to be here. Uh, I'm going to go ahead and do a little kind of definitely a Valentine project. I'm all about doing like showing, and I just got off a call with someone, but the whole thing is like, I love with my designs, my dies, being able to show people how to use them in a different way. And sometimes it's a similar way to how it's designed, but it's for a different season, different ideas. So I'm going to turn the camera down, and thank you so much for watching. So I'm going to use our geometric wreath. And the thing with the geometric wreath is it came out in autumn, so it tends to have a thought of being a very autumny design, but I wanted to use it for a Valentine idea. So I'm going to combine this with some pieces, and again, I love using bits and pieces from different die sets. This is the Ribbon Rosette Valentine add-on, and you can see all the pieces in there. I'm going to be using the little doily, lacy looking thing, and then I'm also using the Impossible Box Valentine add-on. Now, one of the things I realize that I do a lot of, and there's a reason, is I do a lot of add-on designs, but I want to also explain they can be used independently from what they were designed to add on to. So in this case, this is the Valentine add-on, but it works with the box, the Impossible Box base, and this is what it looks like. It just closes. It looks like a closed box, but then when you open it, it has an opening. So these are the pieces to embellish it. So I do a lot of these where I want to give people additional pieces that they could use. And again, you don't have to use it with the box itself. Same thing with the ribbon rosette. This works with the ribbon rosette main piece that you see on the main piece, but there's all these add-on pieces, and that is something I enjoy doing because it just gives more uses to any of the dies that I make. So again, this one is going to be primarily using the geometric wreath that tends to look like a thank you and autumny, but I'm going to do it for Valentine's idea. So let me go ahead and I'm going to get started. I'm using this is our iMotion machine. It's not out yet, but it will be soon. So I'm giving you a sneak peek. And what I did was I cut a piece of cardstock that is slightly smaller than an A2 size. It's 4 by 5 1/4. I had put on a piece of book page because I love how book pages look, and this is from an old book, the Arabian Nights, I think. So I used that and I adhered it to some white cardstock, and I'm going to cut the window first. I am using the iMotion cutting platform, but I want to show it with the Pro magnetic deck, and I'm just going to add it there, and I already have it taped down. I want to show it in use, but I also wanted to show it, I didn't want to take too much time showcasing this. So I'm just going to cut it. Now it is a little thicker, so I may need to do it a second time. No, it's gonna be fine. I have some washi tape here, which I'm going to just take that off without, I'm tearing off the paper. So that wasn't the best idea. So I'm gonna have to do it a little carefully and re-tape down Old book pages obviously are a lot more fragile than regular cardstock. So let me go ahead, set that down there, set that down here, and I'm going to do a little repair. I know it sounds funny, but you never know what's going to happen on live. But can you see how the paper came up with the washi tape, because it is such old paper? So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive down. So you never know what's going to happen. But I'm doing this, and I'm hoping that the washi tape will pull up when I'm done. So this is the piece. Let's see if it'll come up. No, it's pulling up on this side as well. So I will set that aside, and I will try to lift that off in a bit. Now, what I'm going to do while I'm letting that dry is I'm going to turn it over. I have a piece of acetate that I'm going to use as the window. Now it is now officially 11:02, which is, to be honest, this is the time that I usually get everything working to come on live. So there might be more people joining us right now. I'm going to put my acetate window down on the back side. Now, very carefully, using my iClick die pick, I'm going to see if I can lift this off. And I could use some undo if I need to. I don't know if this is going to come off. Again, it's such fragile paper. No, it doesn't look like it's going to come off. So, lesson learned here is don't use washi tape on old book pages. So I will use some undo. I don't have any here right now, but that is what I'm going to do. Again, live. When I'm on live, you never know what's going to happen. So I cut an A2 size card, but I did it as a vertical format. So it's going to look like that. And that is bugging me, but that's where it's going to be for now. And this being acetate is collecting all kinds of bits and pieces of cardstock that's sitting around. I'm using some foam tape on the back, and I'm going to do I'm going to use Teflon scissors, and I'm just going to make it into a shaker card. And you want to make sure, close off everything here so that the shaker bits don't escape once you build it. So, and it's just kind of putting it together. There. Just again, making sure it doesn't show through, but also it doesn't, that you don't leave any gaps where the shaker bits can fall through and escape, because it can make a big mess. Ask me how I know that. So once we get that part done, we need to support the rest of the card. So I'm just going to do it this way. And again, I'm so excited that the technical difficulties didn't happen this time. well, let me rephrase that. Technical difficulties with the computer, the YouTube playback, did have some technical difficulties with the washi tape, if that's possible. Book page, old paper, vintage paper. But I'm going to just add these pieces. Now you could do, you have to remember too, when you do all these little strips, that you're also going to have to remove all of this backing tape. So there's the main part of that. And so you have the front of that. And I'm going to pretend we can't see that, because that will come off with some undo. So I'm going to basically make the card now. Okay. We are going to start taking off the backing on all this. So this is one of those fun things that I die cut most of the pieces because I wanted to make it fairly easy. The other thing too is sometimes it's just the doing it in certain colors that makes it just more festive. This to me was one of these perfect things for turning it into a festive card. Oh, sorry, 1 second. So needed to, let's see, okay. Just kind of, it gets to be a bit therapeutic. I'm also going to do one other thing too before I seal this off. Now, oops, everything is just static electricity today, I noticed. I don't know about where everyone else is. Oh, Melissa, that's brilliant. And that is why you're on my design team. Great suggestion. To creatively hide that washi tape. Okay. So the other thing, that was brilliant. Thank you, Melissa. The other thing I'm going to do is cut, if I could find my bigger scissors, cut another piece of acetate that is approximately the same size. So I can, maybe a little bit smaller, put it, seal off my shaker bits. Now, I'm going to add my little shaker bits, and I have these cute little Valentine shaker bits in there, and I'm going to carefully add them. Now, I tend to not put enough shaker bits in when I do these, so I'm going to do a little bit, maybe even a little too much, but we'll see. There. Okay. And take out any bits of that I don't want in there. Oops. Okay. So if any of you have a dog, you will understand what I'm going through. Let me flatten this out a little bit more. Okay. So now I'm just going to seal it off. Okay. So now because these foam bits are covered, I'm going to put a little bit more adhesive around here, just so it all sticks nicely, and add that to the front of my card. And it suddenly occurred to me to check to make sure I'm on camera. So there is the main part of the shaker bits. Now, this is where the other fun parts come in. This is the actual wreath. I die cut this in a red cardstock, obviously. So you know what, Melissa? That pretty much hid the washi tape. Woohoo! So that was the quick and easy save that I could say I did that intentionally. Okay, so I just want to check my steps before I continue on. I cut the little doily out of our icrafter double stick adhesive sheets for a reason. Because, and I'm going to need to do this, I think I could do it on this, in fact. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to adhere my wreath. Two dogs. Oh, so rubbing the adhesive or the acetate with the dryer sheet. Oh, that's even more clever. Thank you, Melissa. I should keep some right here because my dog is here, and where she is generally tons of dog hair, which I don't know, I've kind of gotten used to, if that's possible, but anyone who has pets knows what I'm talking about. I saw a cute meme where it said, if you don't want dog hair on your clothes, don't sit on my couch, kind of thing. Yeah. So anyway, I put adhesive on the back of my wreath and will coordinate it into, it's slightly larger than the window. So beautifully, it pretty much has covered up the washi tape. And so I don't recommend doing the washi tape on old book pages, but there you go, save that. Next, let's see. Next, I'm trying to think, the next step is, I have all these leaves and plants cut, but I think I'm going to do this part, the acetate or the double stick. Now, what I wanted, this is one of those things where I technically wanted some glitter cardstock. Didn't have it, couldn't get it in time for this video, so I just wanted to show that our icrafter adhesive sheets are strong enough to hold glitter, but also another thing that people may not know is that it can also hold up to heat embossing. But I didn't want to use heat embossing on the acetate window part, so I'm going to do just glitter, and I'm going to take off these little bits so they don't clog up the look. I could actually do it this way. So there we go, that piece there. Okay, so this is, can you see that? A little lacy piece, and it has a lot of little hearts, and this is a piece that comes from the Impossible Box add-on. So, do I want to do it before or after the greenery? Now that I think about it, I kind of want it after the greenery. So let me just set it there. So what I'm going to do is I cut these out of, I think, 5 different colors of cardstock. And my whole thing with my Valentines is that I always like to combine a little bit of aqua with my red from my Valentine. So I added that in there. I'm just kind of laying these out right now. There are, oops, got a little sticky on there. There are several different shapes that are included with the wreath design. So I have a nice batch to select from. And again, here's the thought too, is doing the bolder leaves on the bottom, the thinner leaves on top. So I'm just going to kind of play around with how these look. I also did 2 of these bits of aqua for coloring. Now, this is where, Melissa, your great idea of maybe doing something up in this corner, which I may do. I'm going to, okay, so I'm liking how this is turning out. I'm going to start by adding a little bit of adhesive to, I want these aqua pieces to be in the far background because they are just little teasers of color. So then I want the bigger, fatter leaves to be the next ones down there. Now, there are, I don't know, 5 or 6 different style of leaves in this set. So I'm just kind of using what I have here. Now, okay. So basically, I wanted the aqua pieces to be in back, but not too far back. I wanted them to be visible too. So, and I'm just going to glue these down. Just kind of played with the placement. And if the wreath hadn't covered over the little bit of washi tape, this is where we could have fixed it right now with these. But I want to say thank you, Melissa. That was a great suggestion. The thing too is with crafting, or I always look at it as the important thing is to have fun. So, you know, sometimes mistakes happen. Oh, another thing with plants, or another little art thing that I always think about when I design these or lay them out, is that you kind of want the darker colors towards the back and the lighter colors towards the front, just because that's the way your eye just naturally sees depth. So it's just something to think about. It's not a hard and fast rule, but I always think of that when I do a tunnel card design. So I'm just going to keep going on with this, and I hope everyone's having a good start of 2022. Okay, there's some. Now I'm not going to use this big piece here because that's a lot of light green and I already used it down there. I'm going to kind of mix and match these. Oh, here's a nice airy. I look at pieces like either more solid or more lacy, and this piece seems a lot more lacy. Now I'm kind of going off in this, radiating out of the center in various angles. Okay, so I need one more. I think that will go up this way. Now, want to look at this? I'm probably going to put the lace on top of these leaves. So I'm using my iGrip reverse tweezers, and if you haven't used reverse tweezers before, they are a little tricky to start, but the great thing is that they are like an extra pair of hands. I'm not clipping it together, it's holding it perfectly, and it just makes it so much easier to just keep working away, not getting your hands into everything that you don't want to get into, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to take my little bit of lace, see what it looks like. I may need a little more greenery sticking out because the lace is covering a lot more, but I'm going to do it all these tiny pieces just because they are more interesting. You need a little bit of all different shapes to make these pieces interesting, but I'm trying to just play with where I want it. Okay, I think I'm going to stop there. Might change my mind, but I think I'm going to stop there. And I'm going to now put, so one side already has a stickiness on it. I'm going to put it on top of that. Okay, so now push it down fairly nicely. And I'm going to lift off the carrier sheet. Now you have to push it down pretty hard to make it hold. Okay, so so we're getting it transferring over. It's clear, so you don't see it, but I'm going to lift off. And again, you want to make sure it's pressed down really hard. That's why I also wanted to put the leaves down before I lifted all this off. And because it is rather delicate, you're going to have to do a little bit of maneuvering. So and it's peeling off, it's just leaving a transparent look, which is what you do want on adhesive sheets. You don't want it to be showing through on your colored cardstock or on your background. Okay, so we're almost done. And this cuts beautifully on with the die. So that's basically what I did. Now, one thing you may notice is that as I go, there's two little pieces here. I don't know if you could see that, but I want to lift those off without damaging. Okay, so now that I have that, Thanks, Cherie. Hello. Okay, so I'm going to just add a little bit of glitter. I should have something underneath because this is going to be very interesting with a little bit of glitter. And this will hold to the adhesive sheet. It'll just give me a nice background. It'll probably hold on to or adhere to some of the adhesive on the leaves as well. So I would recommend letting it take a little more time to dry. But a live episode, you don't get time to sit around and do that. So I'm just going to press it down gently onto the adhesive that we have there. Now, this is just some very fine white glitter. Can you see that? It's just sparkly enough in there. It's very faint. Let me see if I could bring it up. But you can see the pattern of the doily. So it's very subtle. It almost looks like a snowflake. So let me just put this away, because knowing me, I will probably bounce into it and send it flying everywhere. So bear with me while I pour this out. Okay, so that is my explanation of using our icrafter adhesive sheets for glitter. It also works again with heat embossing because it does stand up to heat. Now let me move these pieces aside here because I'm not going to use all these leaves. I cut a lot of extra. I'm going to now, let me pour this out. I'm going to now make some little hearts here. This is from the, which die did this come from? This is from, oh, okay. It came from mostly on the Impossible Box Valentines. That's where it came from. So, just to show you that, I'm going to layer them so that I have a real pretty, this is kind of like the spotlight or the main decoration on this. You can see how this is coming together right now. So here is my little heart. And again, nothing works like this, our little reverse flathead tweezers. It's not like other tweezers because it's reverse, but it also has this wonderful flat head to hold things nicely. So I'm letting that dry a little bit, but I'm going to put this right in the middle of our lace glitter doily. So, okay, so I just put some adhesive on that, and I'm just going to, it just makes it look like this is like a fantasy kind of heart right there. Let me show that to you. Can you see it with a little bit of the sparkle coming through behind it? So it's just going to sit on there. Now I also cut the word love. Now here's where I was thinking of putting it to cover up the washi tape, but I think it'll look better down here. So let me go ahead and put some adhesive on this. And this is just like a beautiful, I love this script. It's just so pretty. So it will go down here, balancing all of that. Now, again, the old book page, I love recycling old books. You can, put a little distress ink on the side. Would look really cool. Just kind of age it a little bit, but it really is an old book page, so it kind of ages itself. But there it is. There's a shaker card. I think for once I put the right amount of shaker bits inside. So I did it again as a vertical card. It has the foam bits to make it all stand out. And it's just like kind of a fun way to turn something that looks so autumn themed into something that is a Valentine theme. So I just had a ton of fun with this. It's one of those things where I love being able to change something up, even if it's just with old book page and colors. So now it's a fun little Valentine. So I'm going to switch the camera back and thank everyone for watching. I'm just having a ton of fun with the Valentine themes. It's just kind of exciting doing something with so much pink and red and just sharing love and happiness. I mean, I can't wait for spring to come because I like the longer days and the warmer weather, but doing a ton of Valentine's cards are just kind of fun. So again, I hope everyone is having a great start to the new year. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when we're coming on. And I want to thank everyone for, thanks Melissa, for watching, whether you catch it on the replay or you catch it right now live. I just love doing this because it's just so much fun. Gives me an opportunity to express how I envision a die being used when I actually draw it. The vision on this card was a ton of leaves, that I just wanted so many leaves to be able to add to this wreath, but to keep it modern with that geometric shape. So I never envisioned it originally as a Valentine card, but when I saw these shaker bits and I thought, this is the perfect way to use it. Who wouldn't love I'm going to turn it back down, a shaker card with hearts and plants and old book page. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week, probably with another Valentine theme. I have some ideas. So